Ashley, it's so mean of you to keep secrets from me. What do you mean, Sharon, all of a sudden? I heard from Dave. He told me you're going on an overseas vacation. Yeah, but it's not a vacation. More like I have some business to take care of. And I also heard your accommodation is paid for. Oh, you know a lot. Dave told me all about it. You got a free stay at a resort abroad. And the accommodation includes family members too, right? Well, yeah. But I'm planning to go alone. I still need to buy my plane ticket, and the dates are already set. Plus, my parents are elderly and long flights would be tough for them. What a waste! Why did you let us come along? Is that why you're contacting me? Come on, it'll be fun. Dave is your brother, so that makes Hayden and me part of your family too, right? Hayden has never been overseas, and I'm sure he'd be thrilled. But hasn't he been avoiding me? Really? Whenever I talk to him, he ignores me, and he won't even make eye contact. Well, he's a teenager going through that rebellious phase. He's probably just taking it out on you, the kind aunt. He's still your cute nephew, right? Please let it slide. I suppose, but I have my concerns. Listen, Sharon, if you repeat what happened in the past, I won't be so forgiving. Yeah, sure, I completely understand. Looking back, I realize how much trouble I caused you. I assumed you had plenty of free time just because you were a novelist. I'm really sorry about that. Well, if you've truly learned your lesson, then fine. I really have. So, how about this time? I take care of booking the flights for all of us. You will? I'll even cover the costs. Consider it my way of making up for the past. You've already arranged the hotel, after all. Is that okay? All right, if you're sure. I'll leave it to you then. Yay! Thank you so much! It's been so long since I've had a vacation abroad. Hayden, do you have a minute? What do you want? I'm busy studying. I'm sorry to bother you. I just thought you might have heard about the overseas trip. Yeah, I have, but I'm not interested. Mom really wants to take me, so I'm just going along. I have no choice. I see. I know it's your first time going abroad, and you might be a bit anxious. So feel free to ask me if you have any questions. You're bothering me. Excuse me? Just because we're relatives doesn't mean you can casually message me. I told you before, didn't I? If you have something to say, go through my mom. I'm sorry, but since this trip is happening because of me, you're being brought along. I thought it would be polite to reach out to you directly. I said it's annoying, so stop. This whole politeness is just an excuse, right? What do you mean? Stop using me to get in good with my dad. Are you jealous because my dad works for a big company and makes a lot of money? I mean, you didn't get a job after college and just drifted around writing your little novels, right? It's no wonder you'd be jealous. One sibling is a successful elite and the other is a failed writer. I can kind of understand why you'd want to harass my mom out of jealousy. I'm not jealous of your dad, and I've never harassed anyone. Oh, come on. I've heard all about it from Mom. Back when you used to come over to our house a lot, you complained about everything and bullied her, even though you were an outsider. I've never done such things. Did she say that? Yeah, typical behavior of someone who doesn't realize they're the problem. You think you'll be forgiven just because you're clueless? Your novels didn't sell, so you took out your frustration on her, didn't you? This is why I hate people who do nothing. If you're so bitter and mean, you should just get a real job. Writing novels is my job. You can't call your hobby a job. You hung around our house under the pretense of looking after me. Even when I asked Dad, he didn't deny it, so it must be true. I see, though I think there's been some misunderstanding. I don't care. Mom wouldn't lie to me. I understand where you're coming from. If you don't like me, I won't force any conversation on you during the trip. Good. I don't have anything to say to you anyway. I can't believe it. You left me stranded at the airport. What else could we do? You were the only one without a ticket. The flight was about to leave, so we just went ahead without you. Why isn't there a ticket for me? Didn't you say you'd take care of booking the flights? I somehow just forgot to buy yours. Seriously? Of course it wasn't on purpose. I thought I booked everyone's tickets. But right before the flight, we realized we forgot to get yours. The whole family is cracking up. This isn't something to laugh about. You wanted to see the hotel booking, and as soon as I showed it to you, you snatched it from my hands, and now you conveniently forgot my ticket? You did all this on purpose. I swear it wasn't. You were just unlucky this time. Now we can enjoy a peaceful family trip. And you don't need to be there, so just stay home. Taking the hotel stay I arranged and then leaving me behind. There's not even an apology. This is way beyond harassment. Oh? So what? You're saying we shouldn't go? That's so cold. Look, just think of it as a generous gift from you to your family. Honestly, you're setting a great example of how being poor makes people desperate and bitter. I guess being a poor novelist lacks peace of mind. Excuse me? Even Dave says you should forgive me. I'm speechless. He hasn't changed a bit. Let me ask you one thing. Are you sure you'll be fine without me? Huh? Of course. You'll only be in the way anyway. I see. I hope you don't regret this. Why would I? Thanks for the lovely family time, Ashley. Ashley, I don't know what's going on. Oh, why are you so flustered? We can't check into the hotel. I was so excited to enjoy a luxury resort vacation. Even though we have the booking confirmation, the front desk says we can't check in without you. Well, that makes sense. The room was reserved for participants of the awards ceremony. Awards ceremony? What are you talking about? Actually, I won an award for a novel I wrote last year. The ceremony's tomorrow. The organizers went all out this year and decided to host it abroad. That's why the dates for the stay were fixed. And unless I inform them in advance, the reservation is non-transferable. Oh, no way! Apparently, there were issues with reselling in the past. That's why they have this rule. Reselling? There was a time when bookings for events like this were misused for resale. People would sell the hotel vouchers for the award ceremony to others, and outsiders would try to stay there without permission. It became a problem, and once, someone even tried to crash the ceremony. They caused such a mess that it ruined the event's reputation. So now, they strictly enforce ID verification when using the voucher. Why didn't you tell me all this earlier? I told Dave. If he didn't pass it on to you, that's on him. Oh, but maybe I forgot to mention the part where you can't use the tickets without me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have found yourselves in this ridiculous situation. That's so unfair! You should have told me directly about something this important. If so, maybe you should have confirmed the number of flight tickets with me earlier. Then again, forgetting to buy my ticket was probably intentional, right? Never mind. You'll just have to explain everything to them. If not, we'll end up having to sleep on the streets. I'd suggest giving up on that hotel and finding a different one. That's impossible! How are we supposed to find another hotel in a foreign country? And it's such a waste of money when we already have free accommodation. That's not my problem. Oh, by the way, I'll be arriving tomorrow. What? You booked a flight? Did you really think I wouldn't take precautions after being used so many times? I planned ahead. It's a shame I can't stay tonight, but I'll make it in time for the ceremony so it works out. What about us? What are we supposed to do? I don't know. I'm not getting there today anyway. Find a kind soul to put you up for the night. That's impossible! Neither Dave nor I can speak a word of the local language. You have smartphones, don't you? Figure it out. And what about Hayden? He's still a teenager. Are you seriously suggesting a child sleep outside in a foreign country? That's your responsibility as his mother. How cruel! Don't you feel bad for him at all? You're heartless. I'll return that insult right back at you. I warned you, didn't I? I told you I wouldn't forgive you if you repeated what happened before. Hayden? Please respond. Where are you? Don't tell me a stranger took you away. If you're alive, Hayden, answer me. I'm alive. Oh, thank goodness you're okay. Where are you? I told you not to leave my side. It's dangerous. You're causing so much trouble. Don't make things harder for me. I'm with Aunt Ashley right now. What? Why? I've always believed what you told me. And since Dad didn't say anything, I thought it was true. But I was wrong. Aunt Ashley isn't a bum. She's actually a famous novelist and an incredible person. Don't tell me you're siding with her just because you think it's better for you. I get it. You're upset because we're staying at a hostel during this trip. Sure, it isn't fancy. No amenities, thin walls, no privacy. But that's no excuse to abandon your parents. This whole thing couldn't be helped, you know. Aunt Ashley tricked us about the accommodation, so we couldn't stay at the resort. The only last-minute option was that hostel. And I had to find something within our budget. It was really tough. I wanted to stay in a better hotel too. It's uncomfortable sharing a room with strangers. And I've been worrying constantly about our valuables because of the risk of theft. I'm not mad about the hotel. Actually, I'm grateful that Dad managed to find a place for us. Anyway, I came to apologize to my aunt. Apologize? Mom, you intentionally didn't buy her plane ticket, did you? At first, I thought it was a joke and laughed it off. But then you said it was better that she didn't come, and I started to feel weird about it. When I asked if Aunt Ashley was coming, you said it was a surprise and that she'd show up later. And look where we are now. What's the problem? You didn't like her either. But it's wrong to exclude the person who gave us the accommodation, Mom. Even I know that's not right. That's why I messaged Grandpa and Grandma yesterday. When did you? The hostel has Wi-Fi. When I was little, Aunt Ashley was always at our house. I was sick a lot, often missing school with colds. And she took care of me the entire time. That's right. She looked after you in exchange for money. She wasn't earning enough from her riding, so I had no choice but to hire her. That's a lie, isn't it? What? It's a lie that you paid her, right? She was already a successful novelist back then. She was busy. But she still made time to take care of me and never asked for anything in return. How can you not believe what your own mother says? I used to believe you, but I can't anymore. If you were a stay-at-home mom, why did you need her to take care of me? You were supposed to be home, so why couldn't you look after me yourself? Being a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean I'm home all day. I had to do grocery shopping, attend PTA, and handle all sorts of errands. Grandpa said you were out having fun every day. Excuse me? He said you were always out buying brand-name goods, living it up. And Dad never stopped you because he thought it showed how successful he was as a husband. That's a misunderstanding. Sure, I shopped sometimes. But it was all part of maintaining relationships with the other moms. I had no choice. I wasn't neglecting you, Hayden. But it sounds like your friendships with other moms were more important than being there for me. Don't say it like that. Why not? Back then, I was always lonely. But Aunt Ashley was there for me. Because of her, I could bear it. Every time she came over, she'd tell me stories until I fell asleep. She talked about the novel she was writing and her experiences traveling abroad. Her stories were so fascinating. She once told me about riding a camel across a desert at night in some exotic place. The stars in the desert were beautiful, and all she could hear was the sound of the sand. It felt like time stood still. She also shared stories about the strange people she met while researching, like an elderly painter or someone living alone in nature. Each person had their own life story, and I loved hearing about them. Not just that, she listened to my worries and even the things that upset me at school. She'd always say, "One day, these experiences will help you," and she'd encourage me. That's why I always looked forward to her visits. She made me feel safe, and because of her, I could sleep peacefully. True, you were happy to see her, but... You see. But you kept saying she only helped out because you paid her. You made me believe her kindness was all about money, and that hurt me. Exactly! It's true! No, it's a lie. You're the only one who says that. Dad just avoids answering. But I know the truth. Dad clams up whenever something doesn't go his way. In the end, neither of you wants to be the bad guy. So now, you're acting like I betrayed you. But have you ever apologized to her even once? Why should I? I didn't do anything wrong. On the contrary, we've suffered because of her. Unless she books us a suite at a luxury hotel, I won't forgive her. See, You're just trying to justify yourself again. I've realized now how ignorant I was. I didn't know anything. That's why I apologized to her and she let me watch her awards ceremony. She was just as kind and impressive as I always remembered. What the heck? Watching her stand on stage made me realize how amazing she is. She was confident and composed when she spoke to the crowd. And afterwards, so many people came up to her. She took her time giving advice to everyone who asked for it. That dull old lady? I didn't realize it until I saw her in person, but now I know. She's sincere, and as a person, she's someone I really admire. So I can't trust you anymore, Mom. No, I don't want to trust you. Hey, I'm your mother. It's a child's duty to respect their parents. Don't say such foolish things. Come back here right now. I'll meet up with you for the return flight, but until then, I'm staying with Aunt Ashley. What? I used to blindly follow everything you said. But this experience abroad has been eye-opening. I've struggled because of the language barrier, but even that's been fun. How can you be enjoying this more than me? Stop it and just come back. I've been in a terrible mood since this morning, fighting with your dad. Oh well, sorry. I don't want to see you for a while. So until the flight home, bye. Ashley, what do you think you're doing? Taking Hayden to the awards ceremony without telling me? He asked me to take him. Is it really that strange to grant the request of a sweet nephew? You should have run it by me first. I told Dave. I just made sure he didn't tell you. Why are you doing this? If you were going to pick up Hayden, you should have taken us too. Do you know how much we struggled yesterday? You were the one who left the person with the hotel voucher behind. Do you even understand your position here, Sharon? I told you I wouldn't forgive you. You dumped Hayden on me while you went off and cheated with some guy. You even spent the money I gave you for his extracurriculars on luxury goods. That was in the past. Yes, it was. And so? Did you really think your past actions would just disappear? How dare you act high and mighty just because you're a novelist? And yet, you tried to hog the accommodation vouchers that this mighty novelist brought for yourself. Look at you, not even remotely sorry for your actions. I was able to attend the awards ceremony without any issues. But if I had trusted you and done nothing, it would have been a disaster. I've told my parents and yours too. At this rate, you're heading for divorce. You're right. Dave would never agree to that. Actually, I've had enough of him pretending not to notice. I'm done turning blind eyes. He owes me. I mean, even though he owes me, he kept ignoring the situation. He owes you? The reason he was able to work at a major company was because I paid for his education at a prestigious university. That university has strong connections to top companies, which is why I made sure he went there. I funded it with the money I earned from my novels. That can't be true. I had no idea you earned that much. I thought you were just writing novels as a hobby and living off your parents. You've always been so full of prejudice. The luxury lifestyle you enjoy, you owe it to the very novelist you look down on. It's because of me, the person you tried to sabotage, that you live like that. You didn't know, and yet you tried to pull off this ridiculous stunt. Lying to your son like that, you're honestly a terrible mother. And Dave, for turning a blind eye is just as guilty. Wait, I apologize. Isn't that enough? Our return flight is the day after tomorrow. What am I supposed to do until then? Why not stay at the hostel like you did yesterday? I enjoy hostels too. You hear so many interesting stories. I can't. Dave and I only speak English. And I haven't been able to find my wallet since yesterday. I don't even have enough to pay for this place. Oh, that's tough. But don't worry. Hayden's staying with me, so he won't have to suffer through any of that. He'll be fine, so you can rest easy. As for the plane ticket, it's on your phone app, right? So your return flight is covered. Wait, I can't. What am I supposed to do until then? That's not my problem. I imagine being short on money makes you desperate and bitter, but good luck. I'll be cheering for you, in spirit. Come on, stop it! I was feeling so frustrated. But thanks to you, I've got a great idea for my next novel. Thanks for the inspiration. When you get back, let me interview you about your experience of being broke in a foreign land. Bye! Mom's been blowing up my phone with calls and messages. It's best to ignore her for now. There are so many missed calls and my voicemail is full. Are you sure I shouldn't reply? It's fine. Sometimes she needs to face some difficulties on her own. As people grow older and learn more, it becomes harder for them to admit their mistakes. That's when they start lying without hesitation. But once that happens, nobody trusts them anymore. Does that mean no one will trust me either? I believed her lies and said terrible things to you. I'm really sorry. You're fine. You realized something was off and did something about it. Plus, you admitted your mistakes and apologized on your own. Even adults struggle with that sometimes. The fact that you did it is impressive. You're so kind, Aunt Ashley. I want to grow up to be someone as strong and reliable as you. That's why I want to make the most of this trip and everything I've learned. I see. In that case, I'll take you to a special party tonight. I have lots of friends here and we've been invited to a home party. Want to come? Can I really go? Of course. I'll come pick you up soon, so just wait a little longer. Okay. After this trip, will you stay close to me? Of course. I'll always be on your side. I met up with Sharon and Dave at the airport on their return day. Both of them looked completely worn out and defeated. When I asked what happened, they told me they had left their belongings in a shared dorm and their wallets were stolen. They went to the local police, but the language barrier made everything a real struggle. They managed to cancel their cards right away, but of course, the cash was gone. With the little bit of money they had left, they somehow made it through until their flight home. Not long after they returned, they filed for a divorce. Dave had known about Sharon's affair for a while, but he kept up the marriage for appearances. But after this whole mess, he finally had enough. After the separation, he apologized for all the trouble he caused by turning a blind eye to everything. He got custody of Hayden, while Sharon moved back in with her parents. Apparently, her parents were furious over everything, and as a way to toughen her up, they forced her to work at a factory run by some relatives. The strict treatment from her boss has been so harsh that even though she wants to quit, they won't let her. Now she commutes to work in tears every day.